Episode 283, Grok's Nudity Scandal.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
When the world woke up to Grok allowing users to undress people and share essentially pornographic material, mainly affecting minors and women, the world responded. Governments responded, media regulators responded, politicians responded, and the public responded. But what's been the impact of that response? Hello and you're very welcome back to AI6. I'm your host, Joanne Sweeney, on a mission to bring AI to the world in just 6 minutes a day. No matter if you're playing around, if you're piloting, or if you want to advance your career, this podcast will help you. I've been tracking Grok, XAI's segue into spicy content. In fact, I raised it during one of my recent monthly free webinars. Many government and public sector communications professionals attend every month and, I teach them on a comms topic for free. But I raised the issue of what I'd been seeing on X. And we know that Grok is integrated into X and it's also moderating X. Yeah. So then the world woke up to what had been happening. And I'd seen it. And I kind of checked myself when it began to make global headlines and asked myself, should I not have reported this to Commission Demand, the Irish regulator, when I'd seen it, when I raised it? And maybe I just assumed that they would have seen it. But anyway, it has come to a head. And there's been a lot of reaction around the world. And government and public sector agencies really have to question the ethical use of AI, even being on a platform that does not consider moderation an important protection, investment, and safeguard against non-users and users and the viewing public, and really the legitimacy of it as a global social network. Now, I am not innocent enough to think that this doesn't happen on multiple platforms, of course. But having the ability of an AI tool to give the public a way to effectively create potentially coercion, it's explicit abuse against unsuspecting members of the public, and they don't even have to be ex-users. So in essence, what has been happening is Grok's new edit image feature allows users to modify any image on X. And some users discovered they could ask Grok to digitally undress people, real people, and the AI would comply. So we're talking about sexually explicit images of women, including celebrities, politicians, even the First Lady of the United States, and in many cases, minors. Rolling Stone reported that at its peak, Grok was generating approximately one non-consensual sexualized image per minute. And let's think back to last July, when Grok started spouting anti-Semitic content. The chatbot was paused on the same day. But when Grok started producing explicit images of children and women, XAI decided not just to keep the feature running, but in fact, they put it behind a paywall. So what was that global response? Well, in Europe, the European Commission ordered X to retain all internal documents and data related to Grok until the end of 2026. Their spokesperson called it not spicy. They said it was illegal, appalling, and disgusting. France has launched a criminal investigation. In the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer called it disgraceful and not to be tolerated, saying all options are on the table, including potentially banning X entirely. Ofcom, the media regulator in the UK, has launched an urgent investigation. In Ireland, where I am based, our Taoiseach Micheál Martin called it unacceptable. Our Taoiseach, our Deputy Prime Minister Simon Harris, called it disgusting. And our Minister for AI, Niamh Smith, has requested an urgent meeting with X. As you may know, Ireland is the European headquarters for X and for the other social networks. Niamh Smith, the minister, said the law had been broken here in Ireland. And going a step further, our Communications Minister Patrick O'Donovan has now deactivated his X account entirely. He said he simply didn't feel comfortable being on a platform where this is allowed. In Australia, the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called it completely abhorrent, and the e-Safety Commissioner has launched an investigation. They've seen complaints about Grok double since late 2025. Indonesia became the first country to actually block Grok entirely. So what has been X's response? Well, they put the image generation feature, as I mentioned, behind a paywall. You now need to be a paying subscriber to create these images. So who's leaving X on the back of this scandal? The Guardian newspaper left, citing toxic content and far-right conspiracy theories. Le Monde in France, Spain's La Vanguardia, the European Federation of Journalists representing 295,000 journalists globally. German football club St. Pauli became the first major sports club to leave. And author Stephen King, actor Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Lemon, and performer and artist Lizzo. So where do we stand with X? Well, I had a conversation with somebody only in the past couple of days, and as I'm always inviting my clients and students to do, is you really got to look at X. Of course, you know, we use social networks to get a return on our time or financial investment. But what is X bringing you right now? What's it adding to your reputation? What's it adding to your visibility? Have you looked at your metrics? What's it adding to your authority? What's it adding to you being there among all of this when we know the algorithm has changed significantly? And I think that's a question we all need to ask. I think in terms of a listening tool and understanding what voices are saying across the world, I think it's very valuable. But in terms of a platform to reach out, engage and influence, it's becoming even more tricky because you may spend more time fighting for your truth than actually having the space for people to hear your truth. And the big question is, well, what is the truth anyway? So it's pretty a depressing episode, I'm afraid, my friends, but it's a really important one to add into this week's schedule. And I'd love to know if you, on the back of this, have decided to leave X. Will you turn your back on Grok as an AI tool? What about your organization? All opinions are welcome on AI6. That's it for today's show. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a pro that you know. And don't forget that if you want to get the companion to the podcast, you can get my book, AI Playbook. It's available on Amazon. And do check out my website where I have my AI diploma. And also you can hire me for in-company training or advisory. I'm Joanne Sweeney. I'll be back with you tomorrow.